Welcome to Hunter Beyond Time and Space Chapter 19. Travel Restrictions. Are you okay? Qin Chen looked at the woman outside the door. This was the first time he had taken a good look at her. Previously, the two of them had always met in a hurry. Moreover, because of the domestic violence she had suffered, she deliberately avoided other men, even Qin Chen, who was just a high school student. This should be the shadow left by domestic violence. At this moment, the woman's hand and arm had become a mechanical limb. Qin Chen noticed that her mechanical limb was more beautiful than most of the prisoners in the number 18 prison, with flowing and elegant lines but also a sense of power. If it weren't for the long sleeves covering it, it would probably look even better. The woman was indeed beautiful. Although there were some fine lines at the corners of her eyes, they added a little charm, which couldn't stop her gentle temperament. The woman looked at Qin Chen and said embarrassedly, "I didn't expect to trouble you again this time." "It's okay," Qin Chen shook his head. "I was just planning to cook for Li Tongyun. I like her very much." The woman nodded and said to Li Tongyun, "Let's go, Xiao Yun, let's go home with Mom." Li Tongyun said pitifully, "I'm still hungry. Our house has been destroyed. There's nothing to eat when we go back." The woman became a little angry after hearing this. "Listen, don't trouble others again." However, Qin Chen suddenly said, "Xiao Yun just said that you haven't eaten yet. Why don't we have a meal together at my place?" Both the woman and Li Tongyun were surprised. Although Qin Chen had helped before, he had never taken the initiative to show enthusiasm. He seemed to be afraid of causing trouble. "I also want to know something about time travel," Qin Chen explained. "So, I want to ask, what should I call you?" "I'm Jiang Shui," the woman replied. "Well, I just want to ask Aunt Jiang Shui about the world inside," Qin Chen said. "Is it convenient?" To be honest, Jiang Shui was only 12 years older than Qin Chen. Calling her aunt sounded a bit old-fashioned, but he had known her and Li Tongyun first, so he could only call her that now. "It's not inconvenient," Jiang Shui said. "You can ask me anytime. But now, I'll go home and pack some things for Xiao Yun's meal." "Mom, let's eat at brother's place," Li Tongyun whispered. Jiang Shui looked at Li Tongyun's pleading expression and sighed, "That's really kind of you." From beginning to end, this woman had always looked embarrassed. Qin Chen could feel her genuine remorse. Could this kind of personality really survive in that fierce world of the inside? Qin Chen suppressed his curiosity until he served the soy sauce fried rice on the table. He finally said casually, "I saw the police come to handle the case." "What did they say?" Jiang Shui replied, "The neighbors explained the situation for me. Originally, they were going to take me away, but considering that I have a daughter and it was an act of self-defense, they let me stay. If there is anything, they will let me know." At this point, Qin Chen finally asked what he wanted to know most. "I saw two more people come later." "What were they doing?" "I don't know what they were doing," Jiang Shui shook her head. "They talked to the police and then asked me to fill out a form and took 2 photos of my ID card before leaving." Qin Chen was stunned. "Just that easy?" "Oh, they also said they might find me in the future and asked me not to leave Luo City in the near future, but they didn't say why they were looking for me," Jiang Shui replied. "The police didn't do anything to them?" Qin Chen was curious. "They seemed to show some documents to the police," Jiang Shui explained. "I'm not sure about the details, but they were not stopped." At least now, Qin Chen had a preliminary understanding of those people. Firstly, they don't arrest time travelers on sight. Secondly, they have official documents. In any case, at least they are not as crazy as imagined, which made Qin Chen feel more at ease. Suddenly, Qin Chen asked Jiang Shui, "What's your identity in the world inside?" The name, The World Inside, had slowly spread after he Xiao Xiao's guide. It was a common name for the time travel world. I have a mechanical clinic in the number 18 city, which installs mechanical prosthetics for others. But I didn't know anything when I time traveled. When someone came to install the prosthetic limbs, I could only say that I didn't have any stock, Jiang Shui replied. Qin Chen nodded. This kind of technical work could not be mastered in just a few days. What about your arms? He asked. When I went there, I already had mechanical prosthetic limbs. When I returned, they came back with me, Jiang Shui replied. Qin Chen asked again, I saw the number 18 prison in an introduction to a time traveler. Where is that? It's on the outskirts of the 18th city, Jiang Shui said. This prison is quite famous. It seems to be a place specifically for detaining serious criminals, and it's the highest defense level prison in the federal system. Federal system? Qin Chen hesitated for a moment. Does Aunt Jiang Shui know anything else? I just traveled 2 days ago, and I haven't figured out anything yet, Jiang Shui shook her head. At this time, the little girl Li Tongyun asked, Mom, what's the name of your clinic? It's called Jiang Shui Mechanical Limb Clinic, Jiang Shui replied. Why do you ask? Just asking, Li Tongyun said while stirring soy sauce fried rice. Qin Chen took note of the name, but he probably didn't have the ability to help at the moment. If he wanted to help, he had to go through Lu Guanyi or Li Shuthong, but how could he explain how he knew Jiang Shui? He didn't know how people in the other world would treat time travelers. If Jiang Shui was exposed, wouldn't he be discovered too? Just wait, for now, it seems that Jiang Shui is not in any immediate danger. Jiang Shui looked at Qin Chen. Why are you so curious about the other world? I also want to travel there and take a look, Qin Chen smiled. I envy you time travelers. That world is very dangerous, basically, except for the people from the Li, Chen, Qing, Shena, and Lu island groups. Everyone else lives in dire straits every day, worse off than the surface world. Jiang Shui shook her head. Qin Chen thought to himself that he was also a Qin person, but he also lived in dire straits. He asked, what's the plan for next? I want to take Xiaoyun to live with her grandmother in Jingqing for a while, and then leave tomorrow and return to divorce Xiaoyun's father, Jiang Shui said. Qin Chen suddenly thought of something and reminded her, then buy the tickets first. There are many people going to Jingqing every day, and it's not easy to buy tickets. Jiang Shui didn't think too much about it and directly bought a ticket to Jingqing using the mobile app. The payment was successful, but when it came time to issue the ticket, it showed that the ticket was not issued. As expected. Qin Chen fell into deep thought. When he heard that Jiang Shui was not allowed to leave Lu City, but there were no restrictions, he guessed that there might be other means. The mysterious organization taking a picture of Jiang Shui's ID card may be to restrict her travel,